People, my people, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I'm your host, Jay Smith. We're gonna do what we do, my people. We're gonna talk boxing. Um, Big fight week, big fight week. We got um Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias, Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda, Edgar Berlanga versus Shiraz. David Morell is also going to be fighting. Big fights, my people. Super looking forward to it. Um, we're just going to get some serious action. All of these fights are interesting. In today's episode, we're going to make some predictions. Hold on, man. Let me get the microphone in here. Let me get the microphone. Make sure my people. Mic check. Mic check. Hold on, man. I want to see if I can put this thing somewhere. But yeah, man, this is a big fight week. Looking forward to these fights. It's gonna be some good ones, man. It's gonna be some good ones. Yesterday's live, by the way. Folks saying that Zepeda's gonna win. Folks, I believe in it, William Zepeda. Here we go. There we go, my peoples. I'm hands free. I ain't gotta hold nothing. Let me get my hat. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna talk about these fights. We're gonna make some predictions in today's episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Let's get it, my peoples. So, I'm looking forward to seeing David Morell. You guys probably know that this is gonna be David Morell's first fight back since losing to the Mexican Monster. And I'm gonna tell you guys what, man. I don't really know David Morell's opponent. I checked him out, seen some highlight reels. He looked like he can fight. Let's see. I've been hearing some good things about Imam Katayev. I've even had people tell me, yo, Katayev got what it takes to beat Morell. So I want to see it. I'm not familiar with how he fights or anything like that. Let's get it. So it's hard. Look, I'm going to make a prediction based off of how much I believe in David Morell. Right? And my prediction is that he's going to win this fight. Morell's a special fighter. Just because he lost to David Benavidez doesn't mean that, okay, he's a hype job or overrated. None of that stuff. David Morell could fight. I actually believe that he will become a world champion. I'm telling y'all right now. David Morell is going to hold the world title. I don't know, maybe even multiple titles unified. That's how much I believe in him. Now, let's move on to the first one that I do know about. Subriel Matias versus Alberto Puello. Whoa, my peoples. That's a banger. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to give you a breakdown on that fight. Subriel Matias, right? If I'm playing, let's say I'm Subriel Matias, because I'm going to start giving y'all now the role play. I'm not just gonna tell you, I'm gonna show you what it looks like. Right? So if I'm Subriel Matias, the thing about Subriel is that he's very straightforward. I've been telling you guys this, and we're gonna see it in this fight. Right? This is Subriel. He's come forward, boom, 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 and then he lets his hands go. Bam, 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 bam. He, combination punching. The thing is that he's, you don't see a lot of footwork from him. You don't see a lot of movement. You don't see a lot of... He's right there in front of his opponent. Either blocking or slipping punches and trying to counter and trying to let his hands go on you. Alberto Puello, on the other hand, he the slick boxer. He's the guy who's gonna jab you, bang, and give you an angle and go right here, and give you the 1-2 and go right here. And he's mobile, very mobile fighter. So this is the classic matchup of the boxer and the puncher. And I'm telling you guys, Alberto Puello, he has the skill set and the style to give Subriel Matias problems. In yesterday's live, I guess it was almost unanimous. Everybody was like, nah, Subriel's gonna knock him out. Subriel's gonna knock him out. And I get it that Alberto Puello is not a big star like that. Some of you maybe even haven't seen him fight. But he can fight, my peoples. I suggest that you, before you even make your prediction, because that's the thing, man. Don't make like, I'm making a prediction without seeing one of the two fighters when it comes to David Morell, right? But that's based off of, I've seen David Morell X amount of times in X amount of fights. But if you never seen Alberto Puello fight, we're talking about a world champion, a reigning world champion. So I never seen David Morell's opponent, but I can make a prediction based off of the fact that I know what David Morell's been in there with, and his opponent who has 10 fights, as good as he is, I know that he hasn't faced better opposition than Morell. But when it comes to Alberto Puello and Subriel Matias, I know what Alberto Puello brings to the table. And I'm telling you, if you've never seen him fight, before you make your prediction, look for YouTube videos of Alberto Puello, my peoples. Because I was surprised that everybody was like, nah, Alberto Puello is going to get knocked out. Subriel Matias is going to handle business. Subriel Matias can fight. Salute. I got all the respect in the world for that warrior. But I'm trying to tell you, Alberto Puello is no joke. As a matter of fact, a piece of information that you may be aware of, in case you forgot, I'll refresh your recollection. Alberto Puello is the first and only fighter to beat Gary Antoine Russell. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Let it marinate. We all know what type of fighter Gary Antoine Russell is. We saw the job that he put on El Rayo Valenzuela. And I tell you what, man, El Rayo Valenzuela is a fighter that I really enjoy watching. And I could tell you, when he was like 8-0 or 9-0, I was like, yo, this kid is going to be a world champion. When he beat Pitbull Cruz, that everybody was saying he was going to get knocked out, the receipt is up. You could check it out. I predicted that he was going to outbox Pitbull. Because people saw Rayo in some wars, and they thought that he's a guy that could just sit there and bang. And they didn't realize that Rayo Valenzuela is a guy that got movement. Alberto Puello, my peoples, if I'm telling you that he's the first guy to beat Gary Antoine Russell, then you got to know how good he is. Gary Antoine Russell is the world champion right now after just pummeling El Rayo Valenzuela. You got to know, the only guy to beat Gary Antoine Russell got to be nice. Ozzy, looking fresh, champ. Nice merch. Appreciate it, my brother. One day is going to be available. I got many ideas. It's just the logistics of getting the merch to you guys and not having it be too expensive, because I'm not trying to sell you a hat for $80 or some shit like that. I want to be able to sell a hat $25, $30, in that range. Same with the shirts. I don't want to. So we're still working on the logistics. That'll happen eventually, that people will be able to get the box and the hats, the shirts, all that. But my peoples, when it comes to Alberto Puello and Subriel Matias, I already made my prediction. I'm rocking with Alberto Puello. Now, I will admit, I'm being a little bit biased too, as far as who I'm going with, because Alberto Puello is Dominican, right? Subriel Matias, Puerto Rican. So I'm rocking with my Dominican brother. But I'm not just rocking with him because he's my countryman. I'm rocking with him because I know that he can fight, and I know that he has the style to beat Subriel. That's, but it's gonna be a very even matchup. I believe that Alberto Puello is gonna be able to use that reach, that movement, those angles, and he's gonna frustrate Subriel. And then Subriel, when he finds his way on the inside, he's definitely gonna land those big shots. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be explosive. But we gotta talk about Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda, my peoples. Surprisingly, those of you who was there know that there was people saying that Zepeda is gonna put the beats on Shakur. Really? People believe Zepeda is gonna beat Shakur. I couldn't even believe it. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this: Zepeda's somebody who can fight. I know that he's gonna do what he does. He's gonna apply the pressure. He already said that he's gonna try to knock Shakur out. He said, "Look, I'm not gonna win on the cards. I'm going for the knockout." But guess what? The fact that he's going for the knockout means that he could make a lot of mistakes, and Shakur's gonna capitalize. But I'm telling you right now, forget about William Zepeda beating Shakur, my people. And that's not even gonna be close to happening. There's not gonna be a single moment of this fight where you're gonna be tuning in and saying, "Whoa, it looks like Zepeda's taking over. He's about to win." That's not gonna happen. You're never gonna feel that emotion. If anything, you're gonna be like, "Damn, Shakur's doing it again, putting the beats on him. He's gonna win another fight." Because you know that there's people hoping to watch him lose, which I think is crazy work. Like, why do you want to see somebody lose? Come on now. GOS, my man Jay. GOS, salute my G. Listen, my peoples. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. Like I said, man, that fight, I'm surprised to see how many people are picking Zepeda to win it. You really believe Zepeda's gonna win that fight? When we know Shakur's gonna be like, yo, Shakur's gonna be putting so many hands on Zepeda. And by the way, I promise you, to the people who like to, hate on Shakur and talk about the running and act like the only fight of his career was versus De Los Santos, he's gonna show out versus William Zepeda. And I'm gonna tell y'all what's interesting about that fact. I'm gonna tell you something very interesting. El fantasma de Geraldo Ledén. Buen día, hermanito mío. Bam. You see how many people saying, God, that motorcycle loud. You see how many people saying William Zepeda is gonna beat Shakur Stevenson? When Shakur beat him and make it look easy, instead of giving him credit for that win, they're gonna say, "Who's William Zepeda? What he done? Who he beat? William Zepeda's nobody." William Zepeda is gonna go from the guy that they say is gonna beat Shakur to the guy who ain't nobody. Just like that. So you can't go by what the logic that a hater comes up with. Go with what's in front of you. You think William Zepeda, you really in your heart believe William Zepeda is gonna put the beats on Shakur. Cool. When the fight happens, I want to know what's in your heart. I want to know what you're feeling. GOS, I think Shakur is going to win with the 1-2 and jab to the stomach. MS, Shakur is special. Yo, sometimes I feel like Shakur Stevenson haters know that he's special, but they have to hate on him, so they have to look for a different angle, a different thing that they can say. They have to find something negative that they can say. But every time I hear those things, it reminds me more and more of Floyd Mayweather. What did Floyd Mayweather do? Win. And people want to see him lose so bad. They want to see him get beat up. They want to see him get pummeled. And he didn't give him that satisfaction. And now Shakur's not giving them that satisfaction either. They mad. They mad. But I tell you what, I know that Zepeda will try to apply that pressure early. He's gonna go. I feel like he's gonna get aggressive real quick. Try not to allow Shakur to get into a rhythm. And you know Shakur's always ready. The counter punching is gonna be just on point. Combination. But again, remember, to everybody who acts like Shakur Stevenson's only fight is with Edwin De Los Santos, and like every fight is like that, who forgot what he did to Valdez, who forgot what he did to Jamel Herring, who forgot about his stoppages. Okay then, Shakur Stevenson is looking to show out on Saturday. I promise you that. This is gonna be one of those fights where he's gonna just dominate Zepeda, put the weights on him. Zepeda's gonna make a lot of mistakes, gunning for the knockout, being over aggressive. Shakur is gonna make him miss and make him pay and just punish him. Zepeda is gonna get pummeled just like Valdez, my peoples. Watch. Then y'all gonna have to come and see me the following day. See my face after you sat here and told me that Zepeda was gonna put the beats on Shakur. You don't have to see my face. Come on, man. Lee Montoya, you just hear what you want to hear. It's not about what I want to hear. It's what I see. I see what happens. I see how it plays out. I see who's the better boxer, who's the faster boxer, who has the better ring IQ. Shakur is, look, just all you have to look is at his previous performances. And I say previous performances as in plural. While Shakur Stevenson haters cling on to dear life to Shakur versus De Los Santos. Ooh, De Los Santos, De Los Santos. There's been fighters who've been stopped by Shakur with nasty body shots. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on. There's been opponents that have been stopped by Shakur with body shots, with dome shots. Boom. But y'all only want to talk about De Los Santos. Marius Wyatt. Funny enough, Zepeda is less slick and defensive sound than Valdez. Come on, man. Valdez in his prime whoops Zepeda. Who's actually a more, well, I'm not going to say Valdez is more aggressive because they both have that aggressive nature. I think Valdez is a better counterpuncher, though. Sarah Farah. Shakur is going to make him miss, tag him for as long as Zepeda wants the fight to last. That's a good way to put it. That's a very good way, eloquent way to categorize it. Shakur's going to dominate him. And not only that, he's not just going to outpoint him and make it look easy. He's trying to get in there and put the weights on Zepeda. He's trying to beat him up. GOS, Valdez was a beast. That's what I'm saying. Valdez was a... And it's like, you know what's funny? When people want to hate on a fighter, when they do something big, they try to act like it deleted itself from their memory. You'll never hear a Shakur hater talking about what he did to Oscar Valdez. Undefeated reigning champion Oscar Valdez. The same Oscar Valdez who became a champion once again after he lost to Shakur. Now I want to explain to you something, my peoples. Those are the most underrated wins by people who don't understand the importance of beating a resume. You don't understand how big Shakur's win against Valdez is. But to help you out, I want you to consider this. How many fighters do you know who beat a reigning world champion, and after he beat that reigning world champion, that champion became a champion again? How many people do you know that you could say, yeah, he beat the champion and that champion won another title after that? Those wins are big because what you're showing is that you beat a reigning world champion who was at a point in his career where he could gain another title and be champion again after that. So if you beat somebody like that, that's a monster win. So Shakur's win against Oscar Valdez is not just a big win because of, what I just said, but the way that he dominated Oscar Valdez. Come on now. And Marius Wyatt, like Tank and Barrios. Tank and Barrios doesn't count, and I'm gonna tell you why. Barrios was not a real champion. Me, Box Center. I don't consider secondary titles legit. That's sanctioning body mumbo jumbo to make extra money and get more sanctioning fees. But at that very same time, you may recall Josh Taylor was the undisputed champion in the 140 division. Undisputed. That was the real champion. Mario Barrios had a little trinket that Tank took it from him and went right back down to 135 without a single defense. That's not to me, that wasn't a real title. And by the way, Mario Barrios gained that little trinket by beating a guy with like 8 professional fights. It was a vacant title. So he had never beat a champion. So Mario Barrios became a champion after facing Tank Davis. That secondary joint is trash. Respectfully. GOS, Shakur can beat Tank. I mean, if they fight, Shakur will beat Tank. But Tank ducking. He just don't want that action. That's the reality. Salah Farah, the only fighter I can see being competitive with Shakur is Andy Cruz. That's a competitive fight. That's a very competitive fight. I still see Shakur winning it, but that's a very competitive fight. Real talk. Marius Wyatt, perfect explanation, brother. I appreciate it, my G. Gojo Tio, salute, my guy. Bam. So again, my peoples, I don't know if you've seen it, but we made some predictions, which I posted. Like I told y'all, when you guys predict, I post those videos. I post them. So I'm going to show you right now the predictions that was made, because we're about to make Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda predictions right now, my people. So before we do it, I'm going to show you yesterday's predictions. Watch this so y'all can see how it went down. Oh, Vince going for Zepeda. Check it out, my peoples. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hamza Shiraz, Edgar Berlanga. Who do you have winning that fight? Late Show 42 chooses the chosen one. Maker, I think I'm going with Berlanga by stoppage. Terrell Sid, Berlanga stops him. Donald Barry, I like Berlanga by card, by decision. Drop Turkey, I'm rooting for Berlanga, but I think Hamza outboxes him to a decision. Everybody rocking with Berlanga. Berlanga would win. Drop Turkey. Turkey better not be in Hamza's corner cheating. Whoa. We don't want to see Turkey in nobody's corner. Lord Quincy, kind of scared for Hamza. Adames touch him too much. So there you have it, my peoples. Yesterday I did a poll on Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Shiraz, and only one person said that they felt Hamza Shiraz was going to win that fight. I don't know, my peoples. I don't know. I feel like Hamza Shiraz got what it takes to beat Edgar Berlanga. We're going to find out. But here's the receipt for you guys. Hold on one second. Hold on. Here's the receipt for y'all. Hold on. Y'all gonna make y'all predictions. Viz, I need you to make your prediction once again, my brother. Here's the magic question for everybody. Edgar Berlanga. Nah, wilding out. It's not good, but wait a minute. It's Shakur Stevenson. My peoples, make your predictions. Make your predictions. This is Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Make your predictions. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. Who y'all got winning that fight, my peoples? Let it be known right now. Marius Wyatt, I got Shakur by KO. Woo! You got Shakur being devastating and whatnot. Mr. Riz, what's up, Jay Smith? What's the deal, my brother? Bam. Let me know, Mr. Riz. Who you got? Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda. Unlaced, Shakur by running. Oh, we got Shakur Stevenson haters in the building. Viz, I'm going for Zepeda by stoppage. Whoa, you got Zepeda putting the beats on Shakur like that? Stop playing, bro. Salafera, Tank will never get in the ring with Shakur. He knows he got no chance of winning, and he can make his money cherry picking. Whoa. I'll go ahead and reserve my right to make no comment. GOS, Shakur gonna beat him up. See what I'm saying, my peoples? Some of you understand that Shakur Stevenson is gonna put the baits on William Zepeda. But let me know if anybody else wanna say your piece. Do you think William Zepeda can beat Shakur Stevenson? Does the fight go the distance? Is it gonna be a knockout? Viz, we will see. Okay, Viz. Viz, who you got? You got Shakur or you got Zepeda? I mean, I already told y'all who's going to win. I already told y'all. Shakur's going to win that fight. But if you want to rock with Zepeda, do you. It's going to be a tough feeling, though. Your heart is going to feel some type of emotions. Viz, Zepeda, in capital letters. Zepeda's going to beat up. Is going to get beat up in capital punches. Yo, listen, my peoples. I understand that Zepeda is a good fighter. Salafera Shakur by UD. I understand, my peoples, that Zepeda is a good fighter. No, I see what he brings to the table. And I can see why he can be competitive. But Shakur Stevenson, whether people like to accept it or not, is on another level. He's a special fighter. And it's like how much... Like, the funny thing about the De Los Santos fight is that people don't realize that instead of hating and saying, look at that fight. Ooh, it was boring. Ooh. Why you're not understanding, because you don't know shit about boxing, is that this dude fought an elite level boxer and beat him with one hand. Found a way to beat him with one hand. William Zepeda, Edwin De Los Santos is not a fight to hate on Shakur. That's a fight to actually see how great of a boxer he is. Shakur Stevenson in that fight dealt with the same thing that Tank Davis dealt with when he fought Pitbull Cruz. One hand. Walked out of there with a W. Some people were saying he lost. Some people saying Pitbull beat him. You know the haters. Anytime a fighter's in a close fight, the hater's going to say he lost. But you got to look at the way the fight played out. With one hand, he beat an elite level athlete. Viz, Shakur hasn't fought anybody. Oh man, nah, come on, don't say that, Viz. Don't disappoint me like that, man. I got faith in you, my brother. How are you gonna say that? You see, that's the thing, man. What happens, Viz, is that sometimes when you don't like a fighter, you say things and you don't really understand what you're saying, bro. You don't really understand it. It matter 210. I'm going for Zepeda, because I have to support my Mexicans. But I feel it's going to be Shakur versus Valdez, too. Whoa. Okay. My peoples, by the way, to those of you who joined just now, welcome to Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage, man. Sweet science early in the morning. My peoples, I'm taking in predictions for Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. So if you want to put in your prediction, do what you got to do. Say what you got to say. So let me see. It matter, 210. I'm going for Zepeda because I have to support my Mexicans. But I feel it's going to be Shakur versus Valdez 2.0. But it is what it is. I hope for a good fight. I believe we're going to get a good fight. And Shakur versus Valdez 2.0 is probably something that we will see. GOS, nobody want to fight Shakur. Like I told you, he's the real boogeyman. Salafera de los Santos can kick Zepeda if they fight. That would be a good fight. I think De Los Santos can probably whoop Zepeda too. De Los Santos can kill or can kick Zepeda's ass if they fight. Viz, come on, brother. I'm a boxer. I know fighting. Hold on a second. Hold on, let me go back. Okay, so Viz, you know fighting. You're a boxer, right? So I'm glad that you're here. So I'm going to tell you this in front of the audience, right? You're saying that Shakur hasn't fought nobody. As a boxer, because I'm a boxer too, then you have an understanding or some sort of understanding of the ranking system. You fight. Like, look, there's a controversy right now with Jake Paul because he got ranked. But he got ranked without beating a ranked opponent. Julio Cesar Chavez is not ranked. So there's a controversy. They're going to review the ranking, and they might even take it from him. Right? So I bring that up because if you say I'm a boxer, as a boxer, Viz, let me ask you a question, if you don't mind. What was the highest that you were ever ranked? Right? Because you're saying Shakur Stevenson never fought nobody, right? So what is the highest that you were ranked as a boxer? Now, I want to show you something. Amarius Wyatt, who you think wins a Floyd Schofield versus Zepeda fight? I got Schofield. He was too explosive in his last outing. Viz, please respect what I have to say. It's my opinion. I respect what you have to say, my brother, but you're talking about Shakur ain't fought nobody? How as a boxer, can you say that somebody who's a multi-division champion, a unified champion, ain't fought nobody? I wouldn't expect to hear that from a boxer. I would expect to hear that from a casual fan who never laced on a pair of gloves. Oh, he ain't fought nobody. Okay, you don't know shit about boxing. But as a boxer, you know what the ranking system is and how it works. So how does Shakur Stevenson beat a guy who's an Olympic medalist in Artem, an Olympic medalist, highly ranked opponent in all the sanctioning bodies, and you find that to be a nobody? You think you could beat a nobody like that? Shakur Stevenson beat Edwin De Los Santos. He's a nobody? And mad people consider him elite? Shakur Stevenson beat Robson Conceição. That's an Olympic silver medalist, a world champion. Became a world champion after Shakur beat him. He's a nobody? Shakur Stevenson beat undefeated Oscar Valdez. He's a nobody? Beat world champion Jamel Herring, the only person to beat Lamar Roach. He's a nobody? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's not a good argument to make, right? You can have it as an opinion, but I can show you that it's not a good one. I can prove to you that it's not a good one. And my proof to you that it's not a good opinion is that you haven't said anything. You said, I'm a boxer, respect my opinion, but you're not saying anything about your ranking or where you've been ranked. As a boxer, I respect them to the highest because I know what it is. I see what it is. I know guys who are nice with the hands, not even ranked in the top 20. So all I'm going to point out is that for the last 5-6 years, Shakur Stevenson been only fighting champions, former champions, and highly ranked opponents. You will not find a single Shakur Stevenson opponent in the last 5 years who isn't a world champion, a reigning champion, or ranked in the top 10. Imagine that. I had 20 amateurs, 5 pro. Okay then. But I'm telling you, If you have 5 pro, think about where you were ranked and what you would have to do to get to those rankings, to get to those top 20. So if you tell me as a fighter, Shakur hasn't fought big stars, then I could say, okay, if you don't think Valdez is a big star, that's cool. But as a fighter, you're going to tell me he didn't fight nobody? Like he's just out there fighting bumps? Meanwhile, he's fighting opponents that are ranked, all of them highly ranked world champions and former champions. How he didn't fight nobody, bro? Come on, Viz. How that's not fighting anybody? One of the most accomplished young fighters of this era at 28 years old is Shakur Stevenson. How do you become so accomplished? And that's my magic question always when people say, oh, he didn't fight nobody, he didn't fight nobody. How do people become so accomplished without fighting anybody, bro? How could that happen? How do you win titles in different divisions, unified titles? How do you get to all of that without fighting anybody, bro? You have 5 pro fights. How come you didn't become a world champion without having to fight anybody? So that's my point. When you have that experience, that when you've been inside, because I've been inside too, I know what it takes to climb all the way up those rankings. Obviously, I fought when I was 44 years old, so I wasn't going to. I knew there's no chance I could climb up those rankings. So again, if it would have been, if you could become a world champion, a multi-division world champion without fighting nobody, bro, we would all be champions. We would all be WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO champions, all of us. I would have been one undisputed a couple of times. Brother, you do not accomplish in boxing by just beating nobodies. That's not, you could say that's your opinion, but it's either not a sincere opinion, and if you're being sincere like you mean that, then it's not a good one. It's a bad opinion to say that, an accomplished world champion ain't fight nobody. It matter 210. People just don't like the way Shakur wins, but people need to respect that. Not real boxing fans, they delusional. And look, that's why I say Turkey, bringing up those conversations about smaller rings. And y'all seen the post about Turkey saying that Shakur versus Zepeda, the ring was gonna get smaller as the rounds went on? I hope y'all know that was trolling, right? There's people arguing that they believe that is true. They actually believe it. I hope there isn't anybody in here who believes it. If you believe that there's going to be a shrinking ring for Shakur versus Zepeda, I'm telling you, forget it. That's not going to happen. This is a world championship boxing match. It's not a circus show. It's not a circus show. Viz, injury. Okay, I understand, my brother. But again, you fought. You know what it takes. You, just like me, should know what it takes. So to say that so if you stepped in the ring yourself, have 5 professional fights, you should understand what it takes to go that far up. How can you say somebody that went that far up made it without fighting anybody? It just doesn't happen. The thing is that, especially in the social media era, people think that the only good fighters are the famous ones. If you're not famous, if you're not a big star, then you're really not that good. You're a B, a C level fighter. But like I said, Viz, you've been in the ring yourself. You know what it is. You understand what it takes to go that far up. And look, here's my understanding of what it takes to become a world champion. You may already know this, because I mentioned it before, but I used to train in Gleason's gym, right? And when I met Zab, he was like 14, 15 and 0. I don't remember exactly. But Zab Judah was on the verge to becoming a world champion. And I was there. And I got to see the type of training that he did. I got to see the way that he prepared for his fights firsthand. And I got to see him beat opponents that we never heard of, but that was real good, that could fight. That could fight. But again, people thought that those are bumps because they were not big stars. They didn't know them. But on the way to becoming a world champion, I saw Zab Judah's preparation. And I saw the difference between Zab's preparation versus the preparation of an average Joe. A preparation of a good fighter. I saw the difference. You can see this dude is going to be a world champion. You can see that. But there's a lot of fighters in boxing, my peoples, who we don't know that can fight. It's not only the big stars and the big names that can fight. That's why every once in a while, some guy from Europe or some guy from Africa or some guy from somewhere comes out of nowhere and beats a world champion. And we're like, damn, he just came out of nowhere. No, he didn't come out of nowhere. We just didn't know him. He came out of nowhere to us, but he been whooping ass somewhere else. So you see, for example, look at Shakur Stevenson. He beat Robson Conceição. Now, Robson Conceição is from Brazil. He's an Olympic silver medalist. A lot of us didn't know him before Shakur beat him. But guess what? After Shakur beat him, Robson Conceição became a world champion. Now, if you're talking about a guy with amateur pedigree and then a guy who becomes a world champion as a professional, while you could hate on that win, when it's all said and done and we're looking back and dissecting his resume, Robson Conceição is going to be a great win for Shakur. That's going to be just another one of the world champions that he beat. Come on now. Pablo Castaneda. That's why you got to watch the undercards too, of course. I'm telling you, my peoples, you cannot sleep on fighters just because they're not famous. That's why, if you see Robson Conceição, we didn't know him. He fought Shakur. Right there, I knew that the guy's nice. He lost to Shakur, but I could see that this guy can fight. I'm an old school fan. So when you lose, that doesn't tell me that you're a hype job, that you're a bum, that none of that. When you lose, I'm still looking at Conceição is not an Olympic medalist, so he's just an Olympian. Are you sure of that, B? Are you sure of that? I think you're wrong. Hold on, Robson Conceição. I'm gonna have to fact check myself. Man, you cap. Robson Conceição won gold in the Olympics. Robson Conceição actually won the first gold medal for the Brazilian team in boxing. Oh, you said Conceição is an Olympic medalist. I thought you said Conceição was not. That's what I said earlier. That's why I'm pointing out that the win over Robson Conceição is a big win. How do people say Shakur ain't fight nobody? Not just for Robson Conceição, but look at Oscar Valdez. Undefeated world champion. Made it look easy. Yeah, Brazilian gold medalist. That's what I'm talking about. Robson Conceição, it's a crazy good win. Just think about it. He became a world champion after that. After he lost to Shakur. Guy can fight. He can fight, bro. Now, we have not said anything about the main event, my peoples. Yesterday we was talking about that. Made some predictions, and the overwhelming majority of people who talked about it got Berlanga winning. So I'm telling you right now, some of you guys made your predictions. I got Shakur Stevenson beating William Zepeda by unanimous decision. He's going to be doing this to Zepeda. Viz, I take back what I said, brother. No worries, my G. Bam. It's all about opinions. No worries, my brother. Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Shiraz. Who do you guys have winning that fight? I'm going to remind y'all, the overwhelming majority of people who voted in said Berlanga's going to win. And a lot of you even said, I don't know if there's anybody here who was on the live yesterday, said that Berlanga's going to win by knockout. Tell you something. I honestly feel like Hamza Shiraz, besides Canelo Alvarez, is going to be Edgar Berlanga's toughest test. And he's going to have to show us. He's going to have to, or at least he's going to have to show me, because I know a lot of fans feel confident in Berlanga, but I don't. Just because of the way that he lost to Canelo a couple of fights before that, I'm just not sold. I'm just not sold, my peoples. I know that Berlanga can fight, but there's the guys who can fight, and then the guys who are a little bit more. Well, they can fight, but to that higher level. And I'm not sure if Berlanga's there. Because sometimes there's a thin line between the guys that are really good and the guys that are at that other level. The guys that are really good are right there. Right there. But the guys that are at that other level, they're not going to lose to you if you're at that level before, at that lower level. The only way, and you need to know this, my people, or one of the few ways that the lower level fighter beats the better fighter is if there are circumstances in his favor. Let me give you an example. If you look at Adrian Broner and Marcos Maidana, there's probably not a single person in this chat who will say that Marcos Maidana is a better boxer than Adrian Broner. He doesn't have faster hands. He doesn't have faster feet. He doesn't have better footwork, for sure. And he's just not more technically sound than Adrian Broner. But what were the circumstances? Adrian Broner, who was already starting to let the money get to his head. Adrian Broner, who started being AB about the billions, you know, dealing with the girls and getting high and all this stuff. And by the time he got to Maidana, his personal lifestyle caught up to him. So now you have a guy whose talent is here in Broner versus Maidana, whose talent is here, but this guy's partying, drinking, smoking, living the life, and this guy's really good and really focused. He's in the gym. He's going hard. When they meet up, this guy's going to win because he's been working hard to get that win. Simple as that. So Maidana was one of those examples where the least talented, skilled fighter beats the other one because he's more prepared, more physically and mentally prepared. It matter, 210. I feel like Berlanga is overlooking Shiraz. Honestly, I don't think so. He spoke about it, and he said that, you know, he knows that Shiraz wants this fight badly. He knows that if Shiraz wins, they could go after a fight with Canelo. He knows that His Excellency Turki Al-Shi is on Shiraz's corner. Well, he like, nah, I know the pressure that is on him and how big it is for him if he wins. So he's not, trust me, he knows that Shiraz is gunning for the win. He literally mentioned Canelo and Munguia plan every interview. I don't know if he's focused, but hey, what do I know? So I'm gonna say this, Imada. Edgar Berlanga to me comes across as somebody who's made a certain amount of money and has allowed it to influence how he thinks and how he acts. Because if you see the way Edgar Berlanga walks around and moves and talks, you think this guy's like a 50 division undisputed champion, B? The way that he be acting? Man, like, bro, your first world title shot, you got pummeled and made to look easy. You haven't accomplished shit. Why you be acting like you the Messiah out here when you got made to look easy? What are we doing? So Edgar Berlanga has this attitude that for some people it makes him unlikable. He's gotta back up what he's been saying. He's gonna break Shiraz's face and all that. Now he's gonna have to back up his words. But I already told y'all, man, I haven't been in the Berlanga bandwagon for a while because he just doesn't convince me. He just doesn't. In this fight, if he can win in convincing fashion, then I could say, okay, Berlanga, he up there. He up there. But right now, I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he's at. On Lace, Berlanga only chance is early round by KO. If Shiraz box, he wins. Hold on. Let me my peoples, make your predictions. Remember, I'm posting the video of everybody that makes your prediction, and then we're gonna talk about it after the fight. That's all I can tell you, man. We're gonna talk about it after the fight. Unlaced, Berlanga only chance is early rounds by KO. If Shiraz box, he wins. Whoa. Viz, what's your thoughts on Sue versus Fundora? I love that fight. I love that fight, man. That first fight, it was actually playing out, if you remember, in Sue's favor, up until he got cut. And we know that was with an elbow, unintentional, of course. Fundora's a clean fighter, but you know the elbow, the cut changed the whole dynamics of the fight. You know, Sue had face, gushing into his eyes the whole fight, all over his face. So I believe that Tim Tszyu has a good chance to beat Fundora. It's going to be a very competitive fight. And listen, the guy who beat Tim Tszyu, Bakram Murtasaliev, I want to see who he's going to fight, man. That guy's a monster. That guy's a monster. I'm telling you right now. GOS, Maidana got a good boxer with heavy hands, but Broner was on another level. Such a waste of talent. That's what I'm saying. Maidana was a good boxer that hit hard, but if you look talent for talent, skill for skill, Broner was supposed to win that match and even make it look easy. Broner was supposed to do Maidana the same way Amir Khan did him. Look what Amir Khan did to manhandle Maidana. But at that time, Amir Khan was focused. Amir Khan was on his game, in his prime. Amarius White, off topic, speaking of Valdez, these last 5 fights have been wars. He the first Mexican fighter I was a fan of coming into the sport. I don't want him to retire, but do you think it's time? Look, Valdez, hopefully he's made good money, but I think it is either time for him to retire or to make a plan to have maybe a couple more fights to put together, a good payout to leave the sport with a little bit amount of money, with a good amount of money, I may say. But yeah, I think, Valdez, he's taken a lot of punishment, been in a lot of wars, been hurt. And I'm telling you, man, once you get into your 30s, the more punishment you take, the more likely it is that you're going to suffer from brain damage, that you're going to suffer from speech problems, that you're not going to enjoy your wealth. If you want to enjoy your wealth, get out when you can still enjoy it. Antonio, Edgar does it because Edgar does it. Oh, we got another prediction. Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Shiraz, my people. We got another prediction in the building. Antonio, Edgar does it because he knows his tenure in boxing will be short, so he has to maximize opportunities and cash out. Why do you feel Edgar Berlanga's tenure is short? Why do you feel that way, my boy? Antonio, he knows he's a bum. You're wrong for that. You're wrong. Antonio, dale. JJ's in the house. Good morning, J. Smith. Let's go. Hit the like button, everyone. Salute, my brother. On Lace, that's a creative idea. Now they got to stand on their predictions. That's what I'm talking about. And they get posted. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the last predictions, I posted them. That's why I specifically read your name and your prediction. Because I don't want you to down the line be like, no, I said something else. Nah, my boy. You're on camera making your prediction. JJ's in the house. Going back to California today. Can't wait for the fights this weekend, man. Listen, I can't wait for these fights, man. It's a great card. I'm looking forward to it. Antonio, are you talking about the same Maidana that gave Floyd a run for his money? Broner loses to Maidana 8 out of 10. I'm telling you, man, styles make fights. Styles make fights. Adrian Broner, being healthy Adrian Broner, outboxes him just like Amir Khan. Does the same thing. Just make it look easy. But it wasn't that Broner. That's not the guy that stepped in the ring with Maidana. The Broner that stepped in there went up to get lumped up. Then that's what happened. My peoples, we're still taking predictions for Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda. I know that yesterday I had some folks telling me that Zepeda was gonna knock Shakur out. Okay, that if you feeling that way, I understand. Marius Wyatt, Edgar by stoppage. Hamza, whoa, wait a minute. Marius Wyatt, Edgar by stoppage. Hamza is too small in my opinion. I mean, I don't know why you feel like he's too small. Because he's also going to have a huge reach advantage. He's tall as hell. I'm just saying, bro. Hamza Shiraz is tall. He going to be trying to... Listen, Hamza Shiraz is going to be on some of this. Bang, bang, bang. Bang! Bang! You know them long distance punches? Here we go, my people. Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda predictions. What y'all got for me? Antonio, Zepeda has no chance. Shakur by ass whooping. I'm going to have to agree with you. Unlaced. Hamza is moving up in weight. This is his first fight in a heavyweight. Nah, my brother. You confused, my G. You real confused about Hamza Shiraz, my brother. Hamza Shiraz fought Carlos Adames at 160. That was his last fight. He fought in that division in his very last fight. And in fact, bro, I think you're confused. I think Hamza Shiraz been at 160. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda predictions, my peoples. O'Neal, I got Shakur. JJ Zendeja. Edgar, by stoppage, 7 rounds. Whoa. Marius Wyatt. This is 6'8". Damn, my peoples, it's like that. That's how y'all doing it these days. Y'all, my brother JJ Zendeja's got Edgar Berlanga stopping him in 7 rounds. Damn. Look, Hamza Shiraz, he's a good fighter, man. If Edgar Berlanga wants me to believe in him, to have faith in him, he got to handle business. That's all I'm saying. Got to handle business. On Lace. Yeah, in this fight, it's at 168. I know, but Berlanga just moved up too. Berlanga fought at 168 for the first time when he fought Canelo there. It's not like Berlanga is a 168 pounder. He moved up to fight Canelo. Look. I'm gonna tell you that this fight will be competitive. Edgar Berlanga is gonna be super aggressive. He's gonna be looking to show out, looking to be explosive. And then you got Hamza Shiraz is gonna be trying to outbox him. He's gonna try to take away Berlanga's tools and resources by maintaining that distance, by using that reach. If he's successful, he can give Berlanga a lot of problems. In fact, the way that I think the fight plays out, I think Shiraz wins the early rounds. Unless Berlanga goes overly aggressive early on. Why? Because it's going to take some time for Berlanga to adapt to that reach. I'm telling you. El fantasma de Geraldo Lede, it's that simple. He better handle business. I mean, I believe that Shiraz has a lot of pressure on him simply because that last fight, we saw it versus Carlos Adames. We felt like he was gifted a draw. Controversial. A draw in his favor. So he kind of got to prove himself. And also, there's that possibility that if Shiraz wins, he could pursue a fight with Canelo afterwards. So the end, of course, His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh is the guy backing him. You feel like you got to win. You got now Edgar Berlanga, who's talking all that talk. He's going to break faces and all that. And he also got that pressure to perform. Why? Because his lone title shot, what happened? He got demolished by Canelo. And part of the reason why I was like, man, that's it. I'm done with this dude. Is because of that performance. So what does Berlanga feel like he got? He got pressure to perform, to look good, to show out. He's going to try to do that. We're going to see it. So I expect Hamza Shiraz versus Edgar Berlanga to be a very explosive fight. And I'm going to tell you what. I want you to think about this. Shiraz versus Berlanga isn't even a title fight. They're not fighting for a belt. And Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda, that's a title fight. Shakur's defending his strap. So why is Berlanga and Shiraz the main event? I'm going to tell you. It's two reasons, two simple reasons. Number one, Shiraz is Turkey's guy. That's His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh's guy. That's his boy. That's number one. And number two, what they're using and what they're saying, oh, this fight is going to be explosive. It's going to be more like the logic behind it. Let's put the main event, something that's going to be more explosive because, Shakur's going to run and that fight's not going to be fun. And this shouldn't be the main event, which is goofy. The main event should be the championship fight. This is one of those goofy things that His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh is bringing into boxing. Putting his mans in him in the main event. Come on now. Stop. Antonio, Berlanga fans and Berlanga himself are trying to make a living out of not being KO'd by Canelo. That's his biggest accomplishment. Whoa, my brother. I'm gonna have to put that receipt up. That's a good one. I'm gonna have to keep it. I'm gonna have to put that one up, my brother. That's a good one. You're keeping it 100. Antonio, Berlanga fans and Berlanga himself are trying to make a living out of not being KO'd by Canelo. That's his biggest accomplishment. I plead the fifth. The only reason Canelo didn't KO Berlanga was because Berlanga was literally a heavyweight that night. Yeah, he was big. He was huge. Not just because how big he was, though, it's the way that he fought. I can tell you as a fighter myself, I can tell when a fighter is fighting to survive but trying to make it look competitive. Like you're not really trying to win. You're not really trying to risk yourself because you don't want to get knocked out. And I saw it that night. Just the same way I saw it with Harlem Eubank and Jack Catterall this weekend. Harlem Eubank wasn't trying to win that fight. He said in the post-fight interview, we were doing exactly what we wanted to. We were just waiting him out. And he was starting to slow down and I was going to knock him out. Nah. Harlem Eubank, from the beginning, he saw the difference in speed. And he felt the power. And he became gun-shy. And then he made a business decision to survive. That cut to Jack Catterall, which was a headbutt because he was moving mad sloppy, led to the end of the fight. But if it would have went the distance, Jack Catterall was going to win anyways. On Lace, Berlanga coming at 195. Yeah, he was huge for the Canelo fight. But still, that the way that he fought, it didn't make me feel like Edgar Berlanga is cut from that cloth, like those guys that are up there. But I will say, sometimes a fighter takes a loss, goes back to the drawing board, checks out the tape, and gets better. Because I think anybody who's been following Canelo for a long time knows that the moment he lost to Floyd Mayweather, he came back way better. Canelo lost to Floyd, and the very following fight, you already saw a way better fighter. It's like that. Some fighters, those elite level fighters, losing doesn't diminish them. They still keep going and they still keep, winning and accomplishing. JJ's in there. They all do against Canelo. 5 Live. Nice. At everything. Golly, my brother. That's a long name. Top of the morning, family. Bam. 5 Nice. I agree with that one. Berlanga keeps talking about Canelo and not getting KO. Berlanga's beast, Shiraz. I'm mad Shakur and Zepeda isn't the main event. You see what I'm saying? Sorry, chat. My screen is cracked. Typos, I can spell. So, look, man, I'm honestly disappointed that Shakur Stevenson is... I'm going to even record. I'm going to put your comment up, my brother. The next video that I post, I'm going to put your comment up. 5... Golly, that name, my brother. Why you got to make it like that? 5 Nice. Okay, here we go. 5 Nice at everything. I agree with that one. Berlanga keeps talking about Canelo and not getting KO'd. Berlanga beats Shiraz. I'm mad Shakur and Zepeda isn't the main event. I mean, that's a championship fight. I feel like it should have been the main event. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to tell you about that, my G. I don't know. Honestly, I'm disappointed that it's not the main event. Turkey playing too many games. Antonio, Canelo was much better, true, but that same fighter was given a decision versus Lara. The thing is that Canelo showed with Floyd that he has problems with boxers who have real good footwork, who give him angles. And Lara did the same thing, but he won that fight. And then you can say that he was also that same fighter when he fought Dimitri Bivol. That blueprint to beat him is out there. Uniel, 18-18 ring is crazy, though. I mean, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference. They could put Shakur and Zepeda inside of a phone booth. The ass whooping is still going to be the same. Giovanni Walker, what up, Jay Smith? My brother, salute. Bam, appreciate you dropping in. Warning notification. You are against our community guidelines. If you do not close your live stream, your account will be permanently deleted. What's up with this fake joint? What, like, is this the new level of trolling right here? Goofy ass. Who makes a fake account to say stuff like that? Like, I just want to say, for the person that created that fake account, warning notification, have you ever actually caught somebody with that whack-ass troll? Has even one person closed the stream like, oh my God, look at this warning notification in my chat? You goofy ass motherfucker. Don't you know that a warning notification doesn't show up in the chat? What a goofball. Oh my God, yo. I tell you, sometimes in the live feed, you see it all, my people. You see it all. Let me read it again. I'm going to post this video just to laugh at your goofy ass. Warning notification. You are against our community guidelines. You do not close your live stream. Your account will be permanently deleted. Man, shut your pie hole with your fake account and your corny ass troll that ain't fooling nobody. I bet you nobody ever closed a live over your goofy ass comment. You goofball. And nobody in the chat, please don't block them. Don't nothing. Let them watch us, this goofball. Giovanni Walker. Homie, there are always going to be super trolls in your boxing chat. They're casual race fans. Yo, it's mad funny because, like, how are you supposed to send somebody a notification via the chat? You a moron? You know how low your IQ has to be? Your IQ has to be so low for you to do something so moronic to send somebody a notification via the chat. Oh my God, yo, the level of goofballness is hard to describe. That's all I'm gonna say. El fantasma de Geraldo Lede, otro frustrado. I think that's some guy who is just upset because I exposed him. But that's another conversation. Five nights. Somebody mad with a fake account hating on you, bro. Warning notifications. Reply, get a life. Like, just think about it. How do you send somebody a warning notification via the chat? Like, how stupid can you be, bro? But, you know what it is. Box Center is on the come up, and they don't want to see it. They hate the fact that people want Box Center. They hate the fact that people want boxing for breakfast. My peoples, y'all don't even realize, man, I'm swimming against the current. Bringing y'all this content every morning, I'm swimming against the current, but they're not going to stop me. They not going to stop me, my peoples. We're going to do what we do. We're going to talk boxing. Mondays through Fridays, boxing for breakfast. Y'all going to keep getting your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. You're not going to stop this. Come on now. Come on now. And now that we know, we've already established that Shakur Stevenson is going to be William Zepeda. By the way, with Hamza Shiraz, I don't know if I told y'all, because I said I'm not really with the way Berlanga been acting and some things I don't like about Berlanga. I'm rocking with Hamza Shiraz. I'm rocking with Hamza Shiraz to win this fight. There you have it. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, segueing into the biggest fight in boxing. What is the biggest fight in boxing? We already know. Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. That's the biggest fight in boxing. I did a poll. You may or may not have participated. You should have participated. But I did a poll, and here are the results of that poll, my people. Can you see it? People voted in. 63% of you feel like Terrence Crawford is going to beat Canelo Alvarez. 63% of you. And 38%, of the people who voted feel like Canelo's going to win. That means that the majority of the people who voted in feel like Terrence Bud Crawford is going to beat Canelo Alvarez. There you have it, my people. Giovanni Walker. Whoa. With the super chat vibes. Giovanni Walker. My brother, I really appreciate you. Bam. Ooh, with the deuce. That deuce is not going to make you any poorer. It's not going to make me any richer. But it shows that you appreciate what I'm doing, my brother. I really appreciate you. Bam. What you got for us? Just because Y'all see that, my peoples? That's love right there. That's support. That's support. Just because. Ain't nothing, just because. My brother Giovanni Walker want me to have a chocolate milk on him because I don't drink coffee. So it's going to be a nice little chocolate milk. JJ Zendejas, the biggest fight in boxing. Jay Smith versus the Trolls. Man, I've been cooking Trolls since I don't know when. I just keep cooking them back to back. I think it's going to get to the point where Trolls see me and they run. They're going to start to figure out, damn, this dude is untrollable. Hold on one second, my peoples. Let me handle business over here. Yo, check it out, check it out. Hold on, my peoples. Hold on. We still talking boxing, y'all. Vamos a llevarlo, no te preocupes. Prepáramelo como si lo voy a llevar. Eso es lo que yo voy a hacer, no te preocupes. No te preocupes. Untrollable, my peoples. I'm untrollable. Y'all don't see how they try to go in here trying to troll somebody and then they get cooked, sauteed, baked, fried. Come on, man. Marcus Evans, Shakur is going to smoke Zepeda. Ooh, nah, that's I like that. I'm gonna have to get your receipt. I have to get your receipt, Marcus Evans. Let's get this receipt. Bam. Marcus Evans, Shakur is going to smoke Zepeda. Woo. Damn. I agree with you, by the way. 100%. I got Shakur Stevenson. Just listen. Somebody in the chat earlier said Shakur versus Valdez 2.0. That's exactly what I see here. While everybody, not everybody, but the Shakur Stevenson haters are clinging on to the, to the De Los Santos fight, clinging on to that fight for dear life, they forgetting what Shakur Stevenson did to Oscar Valdez, how he put all type of hands on Jamel Herring and stopped him. And I'm going to just remind y'all, Jamel Herring is the only guy to beat Lamont Roach. He not no average Joe. Shakur made it look easy. Stopped him in 10 rounds. But I'm just stating the facts. I don't know. Giovanni Walker, Jay Smith, what do you think about this so-called shrinking ring? That's trolling, my brother. That's trolling. Honestly, I was surprised to see that people actually thought it was real. People actually are commenting and talking about it as if it's real. Look, number one, for that to happen, a shrinking ring, like during the fight, the ring shrinks as the rounds pass, rules in boxing would have to change. There's specific rules about the ring size. So you can't just put together an event and say, we're going to have a shrinking ring. Nobody's going to sanction that because it's not within the rules. So that's the first thing. You need to change the rules for a shrinking ring. And the second thing, boxing is not a entertainment where you force two people to kill each other. Boxing is a sport. People forget about that. That shrinking ring is like, it's almost like you're a slave master and you putting the two slaves somewhere. Yeah, kill each other. Y'all gotta kill each other. That's crazy. Y'all don't even realize how crazy that is, that idea, that concept. Like His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh taking his authority, wanting to take his authority to another level. Yeah. Now break each other. You didn't see what he said, man, in the Canelo and Bud presser? I want to see them break each other's heads, blood and gore. Like, nah, bro, that's an aspect of boxing. People hurting each other, blood, all that, that's an aspect of boxing. But it's not all of boxing. You can't ask for every fight to be like that. So the shrinking ring, That's even embarrassing that the idea would even be floating around. Like it's two animals that we forcing them to kill each other. It's embarrassing. I believe that the ring size is never going to change. This is a traditional sport. Boxing is one of the oldest sports in history. Just because somebody who don't know shit about boxing got involved with the sport doesn't mean that they can come and change it so that they can enjoy it more. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it more if we do this. Why not make the ring the size of a fucking phone booth then? Fuck it. Put them inside of a phone booth and tell them just punch each other in the face if somebody pass out. So the shrinking ring, that shit don't even make no sense. But I'm pretty sure he was just trolling. He knows that cannot happen. Antonio, your final prediction on Puello versus Subriel. So listen, for Alberto Puello versus Subriel Matias, that's a good fight. I'm rocking with my Dominican brother Alberto Puello, but just so that you know, I'm not just rocking with him because he's Dominican. I'm rocking with him because I feel like he can beat Subriel Matias. Um, a lot of people just don't know Alberto Puello and how good he actually is. So, they predict, oh, Subriel's gonna knock him out. Subriel's gonna knock him out. Yo, you seen Alberto Puello fight? Nah, I never seen him fight. Damn, you never seen him fight? How you know Subriel gonna knock him out? God damn. But I'm gonna remind y'all or tell you if you were not aware, Alberto Puello, bro, he's the only guy to beat Gary Antoine Russell. And he didn't beat him like, oh shit. Nah, he beat him. So you may not know Alberto Puello, but most of you know Gary Antoine Russell and his level, his elite level, his athleticism, his speed, power. Come on now. Gary Antoine Russell, a special fighter, and Alberto Puello beat him. That's the guy who's fighting Subriel Matias. Alberto Puello is no bum, yo. He's not an average Joe. It's gonna be a good fight. I'm rocking with Alberto Puello to beat Subriel Matias. Just because I feel like Subriel, this is the classic boxer puncher kind of showdown. You got Subriel Matias who comes forward and is gonna try to slip punches and get on the inside and let them hands fly. And then you have Alberto Puello who's gonna be using the jab, the long jab, the footwork, the angles. Alberto Puello is gonna be all over the place. Subriel Matias has shown to have problems with guys who are mobile. I was saying that yesterday. He's the type of fighter, he needs opponents that are going to cooperate. Subriel likes opponents that are going to stand in there and bang with him so that he can outgun you. That's what he does. Alberto Puello is not going to do that. He's going to use that lateral movement. He's going to use that jab and that step back. Those combinations. Whenever Subriel close the gap, you're going to see Alberto Puello letting the hands fly. So, if you have not, all I'm going to say this, my people. If you have not seen Alberto Puello fighting, before you make your prediction, watch him. Watch a highlight. Watch the highlight of Alberto Puello versus Gary Antoine Russell when he beat him. And then make your prediction. Don't just say, well, I don't know this guy, so Subriel's going to beat him. Alberto Puello can fight, my peoples. Giovanni Walker. They say shrinking rings to take the advantage away from talented black boxers. I mean, I would say not just talented black boxers, because there's other fighters who also use the ring. Take the ring from anybody who's a boxer. It's more about wanting every fight to be brutal. Every fight for people to just be rock'em sock'em robots. And it shouldn't be that way. Ryan, ven acá. No hay colegio, una hora. Es summer school. Ellos te llevan a paseo, a pasear, te enseñan muñequitos. Ellos no te dan clases, actividades que tú vas a hacer. Yo no quiero actividades. My son telling me he don't want to go to school. Dile a ellos, mira, dile a ellos para dónde tú quieres ir. Dile a ellos si tú quieres. Antonio, what's your thoughts on Subriel's so-called suffocating pressure? Está bien, ¿qué le compro de desayuno?
Tú puedes ir a donde señor.
Ah, sí, está bien.
Comprarle algo que él, tú sabes.
Está bien.
No,
So, Antonio, what's your thoughts on Subriel's so-called suffocating pressure? Me no te desacatauran, my nigga, desacatauran. Look, Subriel Matias, we all know he's a pressure fighter, right? What I think about his pressure is that it has its ups, it has its downs. What's the ups? Look at his knockout percentage. You know, most of his opponents got knocked out. Is it 100%? Well, it's not 100% because he lost the fight already. But most of his opponents lost by knockout. So the way that he applies pressure, he's done a great job. The only problem with it is that he takes a lot of punches. Subriel Matias is a fighter. If you watch, not just when he lost, go back before that, there was a couple of fights that he was losing. He was taking a lot of punishment, and he was able to come back with a big shot, hurt his opponent, stopped him. But he had a couple of fights where it looked like he was going to lose. So that's the problem. Subriel Matias, when he's applying that pressure, he can get irresponsible when it comes to the defense and take a lot of punishment. Giovanni Walker, whoa, Giovanni Walker with the super chat vibes. Giovanni, bomb, salute, my brother. I appreciate you. Y'all know what it is, man. Whenever y'all show me love, I always want to make sure I acknowledge it. You know, when I get on here, I'm not expecting anybody to give me anything, but anything that you guys put in the super chat, yo, that's going to the Box Center studio, my people. So y'all gonna see me in the studio, and you guys get to be a part of building that. So I appreciate you, Giovanni Walker. What you got for me? What you got for me, Giovanni Walker? Put great boxing talk. I'm not going with a narrative. That's what I'm talking about. Forget about a narrative. That's why, and that's what Box Center is about, man. We get the narrative out of the way and get to what's really going on out there. MAW, whoa, MAW with the super chat vibes for y'all boy Jay Smith. MAW, salute my brother, appreciate you. Y'all know what it is. I always acknowledge it. Nobody ever have to step in the super chat. When you do that, it makes me feel like, damn, what I'm doing is worth it. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I appreciate you, MAW. Ay, que ir, ven acá, ven acá. Dame, tengo que leer ese mensaje. He's telling me he don't want to go to school, my peoples. MAW, hello boxing fans, Jay in chat. Subriel Matias always bring pressure, but Pujo underrated. Subscribe, share, and smash that like button. Please, folks. MAW, I appreciate you, my guy. Look, man, I gotta agree 100% with what you know, MAW, you always come through, you know, spitting facts. You got your boxing knowledge and you know what you're talking about. Subriel Matias is a fighter who is going to apply that pressure. People just don't know Puello. They don't understand what he brings to the table. You know, it's almost like the way I hear people talking about this fight, it's like they think Puello is just some average Joe. And Subriel is going to blow him out of there. And Puello can fight, my peoples. If you have not seen Alberto Puello fighting, all I'm asking you, yo, YouTube his highlights, or at least YouTube Alberto Puello versus Gary Antoine Russell, and you're gonna see how he get down. Antonio, do you think Puello can hurt Subriel? Maybe a TKO. If you have to give possibility percentage, what would it be? So a knockout. I'm gonna be honest, my people. That notification, don't remove it, please. Please don't remove the notification. I want to have a good time with it. I'm gonna respond notification. Do you think Puello can hurt Subriel? Look, honestly, I'm not sure because Subriel can take a shot. He can take a shot. Puello's gonna dish it out. Subriel can take it. So, the most likely scenario that I see playing out is the fight going the distance and Puello winning on the cards. However, I will say Subriel Matias has the type of power to change the outcome. I'm not saying, oh, I'm sure Puello's gonna. No, Subriel Matias is a great champion. I just got Alberto Puello, you know, with his size, his reach, his skill set. You know, this is the boxer versus the puncher. I'm rocking with the boxer. That's how I'm doing. I give it a low percentage of a stoppage. I would say 15% of a stoppage. Notifications. You're against our community guidelines. If you do not close your live stream, your account will be permitted. Está bien, te quiero mucho, mi amor. Está bien, está bien. Notifications. Shut your pie hole. You will not be talking in the chat to send a notification, you goofball. That film guy, Casman. My brother, we talking boxing. It's boxing. Espérate, que ya casi no vamos. Que ya casi no vamos. So my people, this weekend, like I've been doing, I'm gonna be Ryan. Stand over there, párate en la puerta ahí, espérate. Mira para abajo cuando lo pegue. My guy, yo. Stop playing with me, son. QT, Pujo is a boxer who can scrap too, though. Like how he fought Gary Russell. What happened, notification? Now you want to laugh? You came in with a serious man. Like, I swear to God, notification. You're never going to fool nobody with that goofy ass shit. What notification is going to come through the chat, you goofball? QT, look. That's why I say Alberto Pujo is a boxer. ¿Le dijiste bye-bye? Alberto Pujo is a boxer that people are...
Ya te fue, papá.
Sí, ya se fue. Alberto Pujo is a fighter that people are underestimating. Simply because he don't have that star power. He's not as famous. So it's like, Subriel Matias is going to beat that guy that he's fighting. You know, to some people, he's just that guy that Subriel is going to fight. And they don't realize this dude is a reigning world champion. He's a reigning, Alberto Pujo is the reigning world champion. And Subriel Matias getting a title shot. Notification, you're not kidding. You're only kidding because you realize that you wasn't fooling nobody. Because what if I would have got your message and deleted and took down the live? How you was going to tell me that you was kidding if I already took down the live? So you got to work on your trolling skills. Notification. This is not going to work out. This was like a massive failure. I didn't even block you. You see, I didn't even block you because it was a massive failure. I wanted you to know that. I'm untrollable. You got to go to different accounts and do that. Pro, I need an advice, man. I'm not out here giving advice. Go to an advice network, an advice channel, an advice something. An advice hotline. Google, where can I get advice from? Reach out to them. But if you want to know something about boxing, I got you. Prod, I don't got time for the bullshit, Prod. This is gonna be the best boxing channel on YouTube. Don't get yourself blocked out trying to be goofy, man. Then you're gonna have to make up a whole other fake account just to come through and check us out. Don't get yourself kicked out for being goofy. El fantasma de Geraldo Ledén, hermanito mío, you know how we do it. You know we gotta cook them, fish fillet them, roast them, saute, whatever it is. JJ Sendejas, I'm on my way to the airport. Have a good day. Take care, everyone. Back Center family. My peoples. Bam. JJ Sendejas, you already know, man. Have a safe trip and enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself out there.
Mama.
Giovanni Walker, I think Stevenson hands are healed. I mean, listen, Shakur Stevenson hands aren't even a topic of conversation. There's no point to even be bringing them. At this point, it's only Shakur Stevenson haters bringing them up. Growth in Christ. Salute. Bam. My peoples, I'm about to get out of here. Gotta take my son to school. But before I do, as always, I want to give a shout out to everybody who came through. The Growth in Christ, Giovanni Walker, El Fantasma de Geraldo Ledén, JJ Sendejas, QT. Who else came through to show love? The film guy, Antonio, my brother MAW, and Giovanni Walker, who showed up in the super chat live. Marcus Evans, Antonio, El Fantasma de Geraldo Ledén, my peoples, everybody who came through. Y'all already know, man. I really appreciate you guys. We're going to do it again tomorrow. The next episode of Boxing for Breakfast. We're going to be talking this weekend, my people. We're going to, oh shit, y'all got a cactus right here? That shit almost pinched the shit out of me right now. But I digress. Tomorrow we're gonna go at it again. Boxing for breakfast. You know it, my peoples. This is where it's at. Giovanni Walker, J. Smith. May I have a wrench? Absolutely, Giovanni Walker. You've been on fire. You've been spitting facts. You've been going with good logic. Of course you deserve a wrench. Bam. Hold that down, my G. You tapped in. You officially part of the Box Hunter family, my brother. My peoples, I'm about to get the hell out of here. Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm Jay Smith. This is Boxing for Breakfast. Your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, man. Don't forget to check out the short that I posted with you guys' predictions and the predictions that you made today. You're going to see it in a video that I'll be posting in a couple of hours. So check out your predictions, your receipts with your name on it. So when the fights happen, you cannot take it back. Y'all got to stand on your predictions. I don't want to hear no excuses, my people. Yo, salute, peace, one love to everyone.